Hello YouTube, my name is William Allenbaugh. I'm making a video testimony of two dreams that I had back in January of this year, 2021. One of the dreams pertains to the desperate times we live in and saving souls. And one of the dreams I had, it was a vision within a dream. I feel that I actually had a visitation to heaven, and what I had seen is just absolutely incredible. But let me get to the first dream that I had. Um, the dream that I had, I was in a dark room. This was a classroom. Now, I could see things, but it was just very dark and just very little light. But it was in great detail, and I could still remember it. It burned into my memory even till today. But what was going on is there was guys and girls in this classroom, and I was sitting in the front left, uh, second to the left row of seats. There was about 50 seats, and they were all filled with kids. They were at about high school age, maybe early college years, and I looked around the room and I observed them, talking amongst each other, just listening to them chitter chatter. And I noticed there was a door to my back right in the back of the room. And I wanted to know why there was just so little light. And I started looking around and I noticed the moon. It had an open ceiling in this classroom, there was no roof, and I noticed it was the night sky and the moon was out. It was a full moon. And I looked up at the moon. It was about a 45-degree angle in the sky. And I started looking at the moon, and I was sitting there looking and staring. And all of a sudden, the hands of a clock appeared in the moon with white numbering and white hands of the clock. And the clock had changed times. It started out from 2 till 2, and then all of a sudden the hands began to move and spin rapidly and speeding up and ticking away at time. And I don't remember where the hands had stopped, but I just remember the first number, the time that the hands stopped or the started on. And I alerted everyone. I said, look, Jesus is coming. It's near. It's time. It's Jesus is close, and it's almost time for the Lord to come back. And everyone in the room shrieked. They were screaming, and they were terrified. They didn't understand what was happening because of the sign in the moon. And I started looking at the moon, and then I looked back, and everyone, their fear kind of just faded away, and they went back to normal within a few moments, within like maybe 10 or 15 seconds of time that went by. Their fear went to an ease and then a calm, and then they just started talking amongst each other. And I was marveling at their disbelief in the coming signs of the Lord and warning signs, because to me, in this dream, this was obviously a great sign to behold and marvel, and such a gift that the Lord is kind enough to warn us before He does something. And so I marveled and looked back, and as they started talking and chattering, they all got up. It was time to leave. I guess it was for some reason. I don't know if a bell rang. I don't know why they got up and left, but they all left like it was no big deal. And so after they had left the room, the dream ended, and it was just burned. It was etched into my mind. Um, Now, this dream kind of got put on low priority for me, because, I was dealing with other things, and I really didn't think that it pertained to anything important until I saw something recently. It reminded me of this dream, It was the thumbnail to a Dave Chappelle skit on YouTube, and Dave's hands were in the exact same position that this clock's hands were in, 2 till 2. And in the image, it says F and then the letter U. But I'm not saying that this has anything to do with that dream. It's just, it was such a weird sign and weird coincidence. And I'm not saying, now I shouldn't even say that. The Lord doesn't work in coincidences. There was a reason why I had seen that and why I remembered that dream. And you know, God works in mysterious ways. We all know that. But there had to have been a reason why I was reminded of this dream. Perhaps I received the dream then for me to remember now and to glorify the Lord in some way. I don't know, some mysterious way. But I'm sharing it with you now. And as for the reason, I don't know what it indicated. I know the time is desperate. I know the Lord is coming very soon, and we should be always, you know, staying ready. And I have backslidden many times, but we confess our sins to the Lord, and He is good to forgive us. And we just have to believe and trust in His word that He is ready to forgive as long as we confess. But let me get into the second dream, which is the most incredible experience I've ever had in my life. I strongly believe this was an actual vision. I was literally out of my body when I had witnessed this. I was in heaven. Now I remember dreaming before this happened, and then all of a sudden, suddenly I was in this beautiful room, a mansion in heaven that had such vibrant, gorgeous, absolute gorgeous colors in such detail. The first thing I noticed when I was in this room, that there was not one speck of dust anywhere. And my vision was so, like, it was like an eagle's eye vision. I could see in such great detail, all the way down to, like, very tiny, flea size detail. I could see a flea at like 100 miles away. It was that kind of vision. I could see it's just the most incredible detail in this room. But anyways, I immediately noticed that the first thing I looked at was the wall that I was directly facing, and it was a beige, skin-colored wall. It had, I believe, it was like some kind of dust or paint. I'm not sure what it was. I mean, I'm not saying it was like dust, but it was like this material that was like skin color, and like balsa wood color. It was like this kind of color almost. And my eyes just tracked up the wall, and I looked at the ceiling, and the ceiling was this elaborate silver inlay. It had this, it was like silver rows of like this wavy like bars of silver. It was like crisscrossed with like little crosses in between each section. It was like a like a fence, on the ceiling, but it had silver crosses inside these little notch areas. And within like the notch areas outside the silver was this blue, it looked like a gemstone color. It was like a, I can't even think of the color. It was just this beautiful blue. It was like almost like, let's see, like the blue on this can. It was like a beautiful, like true blue. It was so pretty. But the silver was so gorgeous. It was like flawless. It was like someone had made each one of these crosses atom by atom. They were just so smooth. They didn't have tool marks on them. They weren't polished. They were just made in perfect symmetry, exactly that way. And everything in this house is made. It looked like it was made atom by atom, like in perfect symmetry. And when I looked at the ceiling, I was just like, my jaw like just like dropped. It was just, I was in such shock, in such awe, like of the beauty in this house. There was greens, there was, all kinds of things. I can't. There's things in this house I can't even describe. There's just no words to put, to even describe what I had seen in this mansion. It was just so gorgeous. There was just so much beauty and color and light in this house. And I didn't even look at the ground. It was just, I was just so captured by the ceiling and the walls. And then when I turned to my left, to my immediate left, there was this opening. There was like a doorway that went into like a visitor's area where, guests would come and dine and gather. And this wall here was a green emerald color. It was so pretty too. You had a green wall here, and then a skin beige color here, and then the molding on this wall. It was like you have like, the molding that like a normal doorway came like this, but this molding, it was a little bit wider. It was like about this wide on each side. The doorway had some thickness to it, but it was made out of pure ruby. It was like someone had taken, thousands of rubies and melted them down into this gorgeous molding. It was so pretty. And because ruby is my favorite gem, I immediately was just captivated by it. I just was touching it with my hand, and I remember interacting with the wall. I could feel the wall, and the gem, like this molding, was just so pristine and spotless, and no fingerprints on it. It was just absolutely gorgeous, and it was just so smooth. It was like smoother than anything that I've ever seen in my life. And I noticed right on immediately on the other side of this wall was like this 3 foot, almost like a breezeway that separated the main house to the guest room, or the mansion to the guest room. And the glass, there was this glass that separated that that covered the distance between that area, and it was like this security glass. It was smooth on the inside, and on the outside it was like rippled with really tiny ripples, like the weave of carbon fiber or something. And like right here, there was like a wall that came up to about almost just above your elbow height, and then the glass would start. And I didn't get a really good look at the wall below that, but I noticed the security glass, which had writing on it, and there was a name, the name of the owner of the mansion, and she apparently hadn't died yet. The mansion was already built for her, but I had wrote down the name that I seen. It was Xiao, Zeou, and then G. That's a separate letter, like the middle name, little name or letter, and it was Yeong, Yeoung, and I was just shocked when I seen that. I'm like, how can there be a mansion already built for someone that's not dead yet? And I'm like, I remember God said that I will go and prepare a place for you. And right next to the name of this girl, it was a worker's hat. It was like the name of the angel that was in charge of constructing the building. It had like a worker hat, and the name of the angel, and it was like this strange language I've never seen before. Doesn't match anything that I've ever seen here on Earth, and I've seen a lot of different languages, but it's just very strange wording. And I knew that was an angel's name for some reason. I just had a weird knowing. It just like an epiphany. It just came to me, and I just knew that this was the name of an angel. And I looked in the guest room. I just briefly looked in there, and the vision had ended. Now, I before I get to the end of the vision, I forgot. I almost forgot the important part where I had this phone on me for some reason. I just had this. Now I don't know why I had a phone, but I just had this inkling that I had this phone with me, and so I grabbed it, which was in my pocket, and I pulled it out, and it was just like a normal, like an Android, and I took a picture of this girl's name, and when the vision had ended, immediately after I took the picture, I was holding in my dream this transparent piece of glass that was shaped just like a cell phone. And in the glass, it was shaped just like the phone that I was holding, but it had scribed by hand. It looked like it had been done like a professional artist. Uh, exactly what I just took a picture of, and it was just so weird. Um, in the dream, I remember going from the vision to the dream, and there was a clear indication where I woke up in my dream, and which was really weird. But I was holding that glass, and I looked at the glass, and I held on to that name, and I could remember it just long enough to write it down when I woke up for real. And so what I did is I text my friend exactly what I'd seen in my dream. That way I wouldn't forget the name, because I knew I would forget, because like I'm terrible at names. And I just had him forward it to me just tonight because I forgot the name, and I wanted to make this video of my dream as accurate as I could remember. Um, I mean, this wasn't my mansion; it was someone else's. But the beauty of this, the mansions the Lord has prepared for us, is just beyond anything that we can ever even imagine uh, on earth. I mean, there was gold, there was diamonds and jewels. I mean, just there was so much wealth in this one mansion. To build something like that on earth, it would it would cost more than all the gold on earth to build. It was just unfathomably, beautiful. It would take all the precious gems and gold on the entire earth to afford to build just one mansion that God has prepared us in heaven. Just and I've heard stories. I've heard people's testimony of seeing the apostles' mansions, and the the beauty that they've explained, described. That it's just, you can't even describe some of the things that you see in heaven. It says in the Bible there's words that we can't even utter, that are not lawful for us to utter as a man here on earth, that we, would hear in heaven. Um, Heaven is just so beyond anything that we can ever even imagine, and and it's true. There are things in heaven you just can't even describe. The colors in heaven are just so much more brilliant, like, just green and blue and red. It's not the same colors here on earth. It's this more visible. It's just like a million times more colorful and more brilliant than here on earth. It's just, we live in like the 50s, like black and white TV kind of life. That's what it feels like after seeing something like that. It's just like, you walk around with, you're seeing the world in 480 pi. It's like what we see here on earth is, nothing can prepare you for what you see in heaven. It's just absolutely incredible. But I hope you like this testimony. I don't know if I'll have anything in the future. I haven't had any kind of dreams like that since about a year ago, and but I'm still waiting. I like giving testimony like this, the things that I've received from the Lord, and I just hope it puts a smile on our Lord's face. So until next time, I hope to see you in heaven, and if not, I'll probably post another video. Peace. God bless you all. Bye.